Welcome back to the THRIVEX Own Your Success interview series, where we deep dive with inspiring people who have made it and explore what it took to get them there. Joining us this time is Jiang Yan, a trusted friend and a professional mentor of mine, who has built a diverse career in FMCG manufacturing and operations, effectively paving the way for more women to thrive in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Hi, Yan.
Hello, Charles.
Thanks for joining. Let me hand over to you to complete your introduction.
Yeah, hello, everyone. My name is Yan, and as Charles mentioned, I have been working in supply chain, both in different sectors, including FMCG, retail, cosmetics, and also I briefly worked in chemical industry, but all in supply chain in the last 18 years, time flies. And currently I am the head of planning and logistics for Starbucks China. But in my past, I also did my MBA in France, in HEC. So I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very happy to be with you together with Charles. Yeah.
Well, let's take it back 18 years ago then. How did you first get your start in the professional world?
Yeah, so I started my professional job was with P&G. I started my career with P&G. They have a very good management trainee program. I was taking care of planning function and a team of 10 people from day one. That kind of experience of very hands-on experience helped me to learn by doing. I was taking care of the planning and then like talking to different suppliers. And sometimes they will be very surprised to find me who is a fresh graduate and already started the management role. But it was an amazing journey.
I can only imagine that you must have felt at times vulnerable stepping into a management role, sort of straight out of university. What were some of those key moments? How did that feel like?
Oh, I was lucky, and I think the P&G designed a program like that we had almost 40 people joining P&G at the same time. In my sector, right? The total of the total company group size that I think at that year we had almost 200 men trainee, but for product for supply chain we only have 40 people, and we have a very close community of that because we were all fresh graduate. We all started to take care of. I was taking care of 10 people, but some friend of me, they took like a team of 100 people. So we met every 2-3 months to exchange ideas, to talk to different mentors about the difficulties we have been facing. And you know that when you are in difficulties, you can talk to people and then they will share the same pains. Sometimes it's not that you have to have some advice, but just to share by sharing and then knowing that someone else are experiencing the same difficulties and we will all support each other to get through that. It's a very nice feeling already.
I love that. Okay, so how did you sort of take those early vulnerable experiences and how did that sort of translate to when you sort of climbed further up the ladder, when you were in more senior positions? When did you feel comfortable then?
I think that it depends. What you mentioned, it depends on which seniority that you are in. When I was starting my career as junior managers or even to a little bit senior level, the most vulnerable moment was the first 3 months because you have so much to learn, right? The technical skills, how to use the system, how you can do the speech well, all those things. I think those are the first 3 months. Those 3 months are the vulnerable period, and then you need to establish your credibility in front of your peers and in front of other people. And in the early stage, I think the credibility more comes from technical skills, and you need people to believe you. But I think afterwards, when you are taking on more senior roles, the most vulnerable moments become, I think, 3 to 6 months after you took a new role. Because the first 3 or 6 months, people will all understand that it will be difficult for you to demonstrate or to make something happen. because it's in a senior position, because you have so many networks to make, and because you don't have to do something with your hands. It's for make a strategy and implement it, right? So the first 3 or 6 months, I would say people are observing you, but then after 3 or 6 months, people start to have expectations to you, because you cannot just sit there and then listen to people. You need to make strategy and make those things happen. Then those becomes vulnerable moments, because the first move you make, whether or not it's the right thing, whether or not people will follow you, that's the deciding factor for you to be successful in the future journey that you will have with this company or with this environment. And on top, because you are in a more senior role, the relationship you have with your peers, your subordinates, with different people, with suppliers, with different stakeholders are not that straightforward. When you need to make something happen, it's not just to plug some data, but how to influence people and make people go with you together. So I think that when you're in a senior position, a more senior position, 6 months to 1 year, that moment is the most vulnerable moment, but that's the moment that you need to really make it happen.
So when you're in this sort of 6 to 12 month bracket, when you're sort of really under pressure, what are some strategies that you implement to sort of, help you through that moment?
I think that for me personally, I don't know about other people, but for me, very important is in the first 6 months, you, on top of learning things, on top of knowing the business, on top of knowing the results, KPIs, one of the most important things for the first 6 months is to get to know some of the people, and then to find your supporting system in the company. Then afterwards, you have when you develop a strategy, you have somebody to listen to you, and then you can pinpoint, exchange ideas, be it your boss, your peers, or someone who might not be so visible in the organization. But if you find that this person is resourceful, or this person, then you really need to first have a personal connection with the person, right? You cannot fake it. Yeah. Because trust is, you cannot fake it, right? So you found somebody long in the company, don't necessarily be in a very high level, but if you can trust them, they can help you, you can exchange ideas. I think that's very important. That's very important, and that helped me to overcome those kind of period whenever I have a role change. And I think that's one thing that you need to have in the company. But I think on top of that, if you can have someone like totally outside, for example, Charles, I exchange ideas with you very often when I make career moves, right? And to have someone from outside to listen to you and to have some outside view, it's also very important, because sometimes you're just too immersed in the situation, and things could be very simple, and the change you want to make could be starting very small steps, right? And have people like professional people to help you actually helps a lot.
What sort of proactive steps have you taken in your career that really helped you move forward?
I think that one of the most important steps that I took was to do an MBA in France. To do my next step, I actually don't need an MBA, but I still choose to do that because I think I was exactly as what you described. I was thinking about what do I miss in my overall qualification to do the position that I want to do in 10 years. It could be the position I mentioned, position in 10 years, but it could be just a vague target, right? And if I were short-sighted, I would say that I sacrificed several years of mine to just to do an MBA, and then and I worked in France for several years as well, right? And then I came back to China and found that China has changed entirely. But in the long run, it helped me a lot.
So maybe just sort of one last question, just as a way to sort of round out this story. A lot of people will feel stagnated at a point in their career, and they come looking for these interviews to sort of, find a way to get unstuck. So if someone is feeling a bit stuck or feeling like they're stagnating, what's some advice you would give them?
It depends on what target do you have, and sometimes what a lot of people feel they are not moving forward to the career is because the goal is too far away, and even they are making small progresses, they still feel that they did not make changes. The suggestion I will give to those people is you should not only look forward, you should also look backward to see where you come from, and then how much progress you have already made versus the target. versus where you started. And then even you are, for example, 999 steps away from your target, but you are already one step forward. I think that's already something to celebrate. That's for the people who know their target and who are already progressing and who are doing something to progress. And I also met people who feel that they are not moving and they don't know their target. For those kind of moments, you need to really talk to someone else. Talk to people like you, like professions, or talk to your friends, talk to your partners, and then you can discuss and exchange and to find out where is your target, right? And then once you have a target, then you can move forward. I think that's very important because sometimes to stay where you are is also better than moving to the wrong direction, right? So I think the very important thing is you first need to have a very firm target, and then you talk to people to find that target, and then you can move forward.
We've come sort of towards the end of our chat now, and this is usually the moment where I like to sort of sum up some of my key takeaways. And I think, you know, what has been sort of crucial for you, right, in your early years was this taking on responsibility early on, sort of being thrown into the deep end and having a sort of very intense experience really drove you to perfect your skills and create a solid foundation that seems to have followed through your entire career. And what keeps on coming back again and again is this idea of community that you surround yourself with, a community of people that are going through the same experience that you can bounce ideas off, finding communities that have more experience than you that you can learn from, and then also leveraging friends and loved ones who can help you, again, gain a different perspective on what's going on for you. So I think this sort of sense of you're on your own career journey, but you are surrounded by people who want to support you. So I think that's a really a nice takeaway for people to think about who's around you and who can help you. The next part really, in terms of, you know, understanding where you are in your career, early stage, nail the technical stuff. As you get more established in your career, it becomes a lot more about the soft skills, interpersonal skills. So making sure that you're equipping yourself with the right education, the right opportunities that are going to enable you to develop those skills. And the last part, I think, you know, gain clarity, understand where you are, know what it is that you want next, and then act. Self-reflect, then act. I think that's always important. There's a sense that we always have to be taking action, but stepping to the side and having a breath and just assessing where you are and celebrating that for a moment can be really beneficial to making sure that when you are ready to take that next step, it's the right step and not just something that you're pushing yourself to do for the sake of making progress.
When I talk to my team and also in the MBA candidates, I always find that people have a lot of peer pressure. Your peers advancing their career much faster than you, or doing something that you really think that it's amazing. You feel that why am I still here and why I cannot take that position and those things. It's very important to know your goal, your personal target. And that's the reason why I think that the third point I mentioned is and you well summarized it, it's very important that you leverage your network or your loved ones who are supporting you, who are accompanying you to define that goal together. It's not, you probably will move to manager slower than this person, but then from manager to senior manager to directors, you are more equipped. It could be possible as well. So don't think that it's a short-term thing. Don't think that I'm competing other people's and it takes 1 year, 2 years. It takes decades to really build a career.
That's it, Yan Yan, and that's the same message that all of our guests have shared with us. Careers decades long, not years long. So think big picture, think long term, and make sure you're taking steps that build towards that big picture, not just focusing on what's next.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, Yan Yan. You're a busy woman, so I'm going to let you get back to your day. But thank you for sharing all your wisdom with us. And I look forward to the next time we have a chat.
Thank you, Charles. It's really nice to have this chat with you. Thank you.